What? Long, long suffering is your concept. No, no, that's not what I mean. Like, if you want to produce a movie, all right, there must be something inside of you that is driving you to tell a story. So it could either be the story of somebody that you know, like Awolowo, like Daddy Adeboye, or possibly an experience that you have heard about or you have read in a book that is motivating you. So that thing inside of you, you say, oh, this is a story I want to tell, and that's the concept. So it is that concept that now drives you to somebody who will write that story. Because I heard saying, your teacher saying evening, afternoon, exterior, interior. Have you?
Yes.
Aha. So that is the real writing. But there must be a concept that drives the story. Possibly a story that you have read before in a book. Possibly a story that your daddy or mommy told you. Possibly a story that happened to one uncle or one brother. Possibly a story that something that happens in your life that you think you want to show to the world for them to see. That is what a concept is all about. And it's when you have that concept, then you go to scripting, then you now begin to talk about production and the rest and the rest. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So the first thing we are going to do is that I want to give you a concept of my own. So we work with that concept, then we now talk about production. I believe you are all Christians, Abi. So now, if you want to do a story that has the title of Divine Remembrance from the Bible, can you tell me a story that can go with that topic, Divine Remembrance? Anna. Fantastic. Another one? Another one? Abraham. Okay. Who? Sarah. David. Rachel. Yeah. Who said Joseph? Was Joseph forgotten? Divine remembrance. Divine, okay, let me give you a story. Do you know who Mephibosheth is?
Yes.
Do you know that is a divine remembrance? Because Mephibosheth happened to be a prince. But because they killed Saul, and they killed all other children of Saul, he was not killed. He was crippled. Then he ran away to a place called Lodibar, living in Micah's house. And the day came. What happened? Who knows the story? And David could not sleep. And he said, and he woke up, and he said, is there anyone left in the house of Saul that can show the kindness of God too? And he called Ziba. And Ziba said, there is one, but he's crippled. But he said they should go and bring him. And all of a sudden, the one that was living inside a cave started living in the palace and eating on the same table with the king. He was restored to the princely position. You know that's divine remembrance, all right? So now, we have a concept. So we want to produce a movie now, or a short skit, or a short movie, whatever you want to call it, titled Divine Remembrance. And we are looking at the story of Mephibosheth. Do you understand? So who is a producer? Who is a producer? A producer is more like a project manager. Because film itself is a project, all right? So a producer, you are more like a project manager. And a producer gets involved in the aspect of movie making right from the beginning up to the very end. So that's why we say from concept to the screen. So now that is just an idea. In our head now, the story of Mephibosheth is just an idea. But by the time you finish the production that they are showing it on the screen, so it's now from concept to the screen. So, and there's a whole lot of things in between. So, and the first thing that you have to do when you have a concept is to start thinking of how to write the story, which the class that you have done about script writing is going to actually give you the skill of writing. But you don't have to be a writer to be a producer. So if you have... That boy. Which one? Okay, no problem. So you don't have to be a writer. If you have a concept, somebody can do the writing for you. All right? You can even buy a story as a producer. You can buy a story. We have people that write and sell. You just buy your story, and then you start producing your story. So who did I say a producer is? A producer is a project manager. So a movie producer plays a crucial role in overseeing various aspects of film production. The role of a movie producer is very crucial when it comes to film production. You know, so the number one thing that a producer do is to development. So development, that is where you initiate and develop the project, which including acquiring rights to stories or scripts. You develop, you initiate and you develop, the producer initiate and develop the project, and this include acquiring rights to stories or script. What did I mean by acquiring rights? Like, if you want to do a movie on a book called The Trials of Odajero. Have you heard about the novel before? By Wole Soyinka? Okay, Things Fall Apart. Have you heard about Things Fall Apart? So if you want to do a movie on that book now, you know that book is written by somebody. That person owns the copyright. So as a producer, you feel you want to make a movie about Things Fall Apart. The first thing you do is to go to the writer of Things Fall Apart and say, sir, we want to use this your story for a movie. Oh. Can we use it? I might say, yeah, you can use it, but you have to pay me for using it. Or I will give it to you for free, but you have to sign this. Maybe when you finish make the movie and the movie now makes also some amount, you must give me 5% because it's my story. Some will say I will give it for you for free, but in the movie you must give credit that I am the owner of the. So you now see in movie you see, or they will say story by, written by. Do you understand? So story by means the story originally belongs to a person, but another person now will take that book. You know, it's a book. It's a prose that you read from beginning to the end. But another person will now take the whole book and break it down into a script and give those character dialogue so that they will begin to speak with each other and do the characterization and give life to it. They will teach you all that in your script writing. All right? So, as a producer, you have to acquire the rights for a story, especially when you know that the story does not belong to you. Then also, you can contract it out that somebody should write the story. Maybe the person might write the story and say, okay, fine, I have a story, but I don't have money to produce it. Can you help me? Can we collaborate? I say, okay, bring the story, let me read. I'll read it. So I say, this is fantastic, I will produce it for you. Then we have an agreement. Okay, for your story, should I buy it? Are you giving it to us for free? Or do you want an arrangement that maybe after producing the movie brings money, we will give you something? There must be an agreement. You just don't go and take people's story. Because if you just take anybody's story to produce, those people can sue you to court. Then if you want to tell a true life story, you know Linda Ekeji, do you know Linda Ekeji? Has any one of you seen Dark October before? You know the parents of those children actually told her that they should pull down that movie because the movie is bringing back bad memories of how their children were killed. And that's why the film did not fly. It's a very beautiful story. But it's a true life story. But the parents of those children that were killed in Port Harcourt said, no. Every time we hear about the story, every time that is bringing back those bad memories. Has anybody seen that movie before? Do you understand? So if you just say, yeah, there's one armed robber, they catch him, they kill him by the roadside. They said he's been stealing in Badagry before he went to Orile, and now came to camp and continued stealing, and they caught him and killed him. I'm going to write a story about him. Remember, say even though an armed robber, he get family. Somebody will just turn over and say, the story you have just produced, even though it's an armed robber, it's our brother. And now that you are cashing out on this movie, we need to take our... And if you are not ready to play game, they take you to court. So that's why some of those stories, you have to change it. If you have seen Araromire before, Araromire Bakunle Afolayan, has anybody seen that movie before? You know, there's no town called Araromire, it's just the name of a street. He has to use it as a name of a town. And even in that movie, they were speaking language that is neither Yoruba or Hausa, so that those people in the area will not come and challenge them that, oh, how could you have tell the story of our people without our consent? So nobody can lay claim. So even as a producer, you need to check all that out. You need to be very sure that your story, the story that you are being given by somebody, is not the story that at the end of it you will produce it. Some people will be chasing you and take you to court. That why did you? And some people will even tell the story. They will tell you that you didn't tell the story the way it's supposed to be told. That you have removed things. That no, that's not the story of my daddy. How can you write about my dad like this? No, that did not happen. And they will tell you to pull down some scenes from the movie. And if you are not ready to do that, you might have to answer to them in the court of law. So as a producer, you have to be very sure that the source of your story is genuine, and you must be very sure that all the necessary things are done concerning the story, so that you don't finish production and the next thing, instead of taking your movie to the cinema, you are going to be answering to somebody in a law court. Do you understand that? Okay. So as a producer, you get involved in the development right from the scratch. You will initiate, you will develop the project, including acquiring rights to stories and even getting the scripts. All right? But the most important aspect of production, that is the most difficult of them all, is actually in the area of financing. Raising money to produce. That's the craziest thing of all. All right? Do you know that as a producer, once you have gotten your story, then all the elements that are involved, the personnel, you have to call all of them together. You recruit them. You know, we have different kind of movie director. I know they are going to teach you about directing. Have they taught you about directing? So there are a lot of directors, all right? So, and directors have different styles. And there are different directors that are good in different areas, all right? So there are some directors now, if you want to make a movie about family life, that you know that they will deliver. There are some directors that you know that if you want to do a Yoruba epic, serious epic, like Jagun Jagun, that you know that they are very good in that area. So there are some directors that it's action movie where they will shoot, they will kill, they are very good in that area. So you as a producer, you have to look at the story that you have and look at the market, that who do you think is the best in this area that will direct this kind of story for me. All right? So you have to look at that. That who do I think will, of all the directors that I've seen, sometimes as a producer, you might even have to sit down and watch some of their productions and see how they were able to direct and say, I love this guy's style. This person will be the best person to direct. So if you go and give somebody who has all his life has been directing a family life story, you now say the person should come and do epic. Even by the time you carry the person, go inside one village where they have only red mud houses, and you see some old women there, your director is even afraid that you have brought him to a coven of witches. So he's saying, let's do it quickly, let's go. Like I went to shoot a movie at me, and in the village, before you move from here to there, you will see a shrine. Before you move from that place to that place, you will see a shrine. Even we wanted to go and get a place as a location, they drove us and said the place is a shrine. Do you understand? So in such situation, all right, in such situation, when you have already developed you have already gotten your story, you need to calm down, look at the story, look at the market, who is the best person that you think can direct this one and give you the very best of results. So that's the number one thing you do as a producer. Once you have the story, you get the crew. You have to get the right crew. And once you have your director who is going to direct your movie, then you work hand in hand, because it is the director that will create the picture. There are so many things that place in the head of a writer. And so many, especially me now, I write and I produce. There are so many things that place in your head. You might say, oh, there's a whirlwind, and the whirlwind started from that room, and it move. It came down, it carried somebody into the bush. Then when you tell you that, it's beautiful, but the director will say, how are we going to create that now? Do you understand? So creating what is playing in your head becomes a challenge. And sometimes if it cannot be created, like when I shot my first movie, we wanted to do an accident scene. The director said, let's just remove it. He said, because no matter how we do it, it's not going to look real. And you have seen some of the Nollywood movies. Car will be going like, you just see the face, and before you see blood all over. It doesn't look real. So as a good director, any shot that he believes that might not look real, he can suggest that let's change that. Why don't you let's do something else that will be real? Because you might not be able to create that thing that is in the head of your writer or in the head of the producer. So you need to sit down with the director to look at the script again and plan it together. So in that sense, the producer, when you have gotten your director, you get the other crews. But it's always very good when you choose the director, let the director to help you to choose other crews. Because the director will get the cinematographer, who is the DOP. You know, they have their guys. And why it's always good for them to have an input is that because they have been working with each other, they understand each other. So when the director looks like the DOP knows exactly what his body language is talking about. But if you bring somebody that they have not worked with, sometimes it will slow you down. So sometimes it's very good that you let them have an input that, oh, which DOP do you think we can use? And he can recommend. But if you are not able to agree, you as the producer still have the reserved right to decide whoever you want to be on the project. It's not cast on stone that the director must choose for you. He can only recommend. But if you still feel, because in the area of finance, like I told you, producer manage the budget, and the director loves to spend. That's where producer and director are always clashing. So you as a producer already know the budget for this film is 4 million, and the director is telling you to carry a DOP that will take 3 million, and you have not even called the actors and actresses. So in that case, you have to say, Oga, I will not be able to use that person. The person I'm looking for is the one that will collect 300,000. And say, no. You say, I know one person that will take it, and it's very good. So the director can say, no. The person will come and say, no, you come and check out some of the works that he has done before. You understand? I say, okay. And it's not bad too. Well, okay, fine. Let's call him. Because you need to let your director know that this is the budget and you cannot go beyond that budget. Or else, if you are not careful, as a producer, you go enter gbese from location. All right? So financing is a very crucial thing. You have to secure the funds for the film. And how do you secure the funds? It could be through investors. That's number one. Through investors. Number two, it could be through studios. And the number three, it could be through other sources. So, through investors, through studios, and through other sources. Don't let me tell you, don't let me lie to you. The most difficult part of the job of a producer is sourcing for fund for projects. Fund is what stops everybody from producing film. Even fund is what stops us from producing high-class movie. Have you seen Black Book? Black Book produced the best Nigerian movie as of now. It was shot with $1 million. But another one came, Bread of Life. Breath of Life. Go and watch it. It's a Christian movie too. Breath of Life. I just saw it yesterday. Fantastic story. And the shoot, the casting and everything, I'm yet to know how much they spent on that project. So the real challenge is sourcing for funds. Now we talk about investors. Who are the investors? Who are the investors? Investors are people that does business. Investors, they are businessmen. Oh, you want to, because film production is business. It's also a project. Okay, you want to produce a movie. Okay, fine. How much? 10 million. Okay. What do you want? We need 10 million. And the investor says, I can give you the 10 million. But what is the first question he asks? How am I going to get my money back? And how am I going to get profit on my money? So the next thing you do as a producer is something they call a pitch deck. What did I say? Pitch deck. Pitch, P-I-T-C-H. Deck, D-E-C-K. And that pitch deck is that you sit down and you map out what you want to produce. All right? So what kind of actors are you using? Because the actor that you use in the movie also determine whether the film will sell or not. So your casting is very crucial. What kind of actors are you using? And the rest, then, how are you going to market the movie? Are you producing for streaming platforms like Netflix, Amazon? Are you going to the cinema? So how much budget? You are looking for 10 million. Then you must say, oh, fine, sir. If you produce this movie, we already have an arrangement. Because because the director that you choose, there are some directors, once they are on a movie, whether the movie is good or not, streaming platform will come. Labiodun Stevens, Ni Akimolayo, Tade Ogidan, we have lots of them, and they ask for good money. Some of them collect about 200,000 naira per day. So if you have them for 10 days, it's 2 million. So, but immediately they are on your projects, whether the film is sweet or not, those distribution company, they are ready to work with you. So when you do your P-Deck, you have to put the names of, like someone like me, I can put the name of big director, even though at the end of the day, I might not use that director when I don't get the sponsorship. Do you understand? Because if the money I've got is not enough to pay, Tade Ogidan won't take anything like 5-10 million to direct a movie. So if the whole budget of the movie is 20 million and the director alone is taking 10 million, so how do I survive? Do you understand what I'm saying? So what you do your pitch deck that will itemize everything that you are doing and how you are going to market the movie. Oh, I'm going to market it to Redeem. It's a Christian movie, and I know that my Redeem has followership of about 20 million. I join with MFM, join with in the Christian community. They are going to, even though Christian, they don't want Christian movie. Abi Amala. Do you understand? So after you have done that pitch there, which is like a proposal, you now take it to the investor. So if the investor is convinced that, okay, from what you have brought, we are going to make our money back and we are going to have profit on it, all right? They can now say, take the money that you need for the project.